exit the trade. I'm waiting for the new setup. So here's my new setup here. Okay. I got back in it. Once it crossed back through here, I drew my horizontal and vertical line right here. Okay. Once I did that, I went down to a 5-minute chart and I entered, once it crosses here, I enter this trade right here. Okay. When I exit this trade is when one or two things. As you can see here, the red and blue Laguerre lines moved up several times once this trade took place, okay? Once the yellow line, the yellow Laguerre started moving into that trend also, you're right here. You have one, you have two. After the second one, I'm starting to be real cautious, okay? Once it crosses through and this starts going down slightly, I'm out of the trade. Of course, what you can also do, you go back to your 15-minute. That's what you're supposed to do. Now see, if I had stayed on my 5-minute chart, I would have been out of this trade. Too many water lines is what they call it. When you get it, when you get the candles wicking a lot, it's not a good thing. That's why they tell you to go back to a 15-minute chart and monitor your trade from that. Okay? I didn't do that this morning. I stayed on the 5-minute chart and I got out way down here. Whereas I gave up all this here if I had stayed on the 15-minute chart. Okay, once I've done that, I'm drawing my new trend line. Okay, you got here, right here. Okay, once you draw that second leg down of the M formation, okay, right here, I'm going to move this over here so we can see it better. I can't really see it on my my chart. I'm going to move this over here. Well, I can't move it over. Well, anyway, I draw my second leg here. I don't know if I still have it. Dean, is everyone hearing me? Hello? Can everyone hear me? Okay, good. Okay, after I draw my second leg, this is the leg that you look at for scalping. I can't get control of anything. I don't know what's going on. Well, you would draw it right here, okay, on this leg here, and you draw your vertical line. I don't have control of anything right now.
Hey, hold on a sec, Devorah. We're having issues here. So let go of the cursor for a moment and let
Okay,
me reset the chart. It looks like
okay,
the projector is not projecting. So if you'll let go of the mouse
okay.
and yeah, projecting just went down. So let me start it back up. Hold on just a
All
sec.
right, no problem.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me I'll try to move the chart over. You said you needed the chart moved over a bit. Can you see it now, Devorah?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get everything moved there. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'll move this over this way some. And you want me to take the dots off so they can see it a little bit easier?
Yes, please.
There you go. You got it. I'll let you take it from here. Let me turn the mic off and I'll turn the cursor back over to you. Okay? Hold
Okay,
on just a
great.
moment. Let me turn my mic off.
Okay, once I draw that second leg right there, I'm going down to my 5-minute chart. Okay, you can see on your 5-minute chart right here, this would be the second leg. This is where I scalp from right here. Okay, you have your red and blue Laguerre crossing down. You have your I'm having issues here. Okay. On my second leg here, this is where I would enter for a scalp. And if you look down here, you can see where I don't know what's going on here. I don't have full control of something. I have the candles setting up here, and down here you can see the red and blue Laguerre has crossed down. It's very sharp, and you have the yellow Laguerre turned sideways. I would take this trade. Now remember this, when I take a scalp trade, I'm only in it from 1.5 to 3 candles. I don't care how much it moves, how strong it is. I'm going to get my 1.5 to 3 candles. I am out, okay, on a 5-minute chart. Then once I'm out of that, I go back to a 15-minute. The only time I stay on the 5-minute chart is when I'm trading a scalp trade. Right here you see one candle here. Now if you were to trade this from a 15-minute, you would think, oh gosh, one candle, and it pulled up right here on the next candle. But within this one candle, as you know, on a 15-minute, it's 3 candles on the 5-minute candle, and then you have this wick here on this green candle, which was probably red on a 5-minute. So you have 4 candles possibly that were red that you could have picked up. Once I'm out that trade, I'm back here on the 15-minute chart. I leave this this horizontal line on here because this is my guide for the actual regular setup. So I enter right here. Once it crosses here, I go back to my 5-minute chart. And as you see right here, it is touching this wick right here. I don't like to enter a trade off the middle of a candle. I like the beginning of the candle to enter a trade if I can. You could have entered here on this chart, on this trade, on this candle, in the middle of it, but I usually like to wait to the beginning of a trade, the beginning of a candle to enter a trade. And that was my trade, and I took that, and then I was out. And basically, that's all I have to do. All I do, and I do this over and over and over again. See, if you were to go back in time here, you had a W formation. You had down, up, which was your second leg, okay? Your second leg for a scalp. If you had the gears set up, you could have entered this on this right here, okay? Which you could have, but I wouldn't have because the right here, you see how this was at one time real tight. When it's real tight, the TDI is very tight and tangled. I usually wait till after it comes out before I enter off the second leg of a trade, okay? And I caught this one right here too. I caught this one. You had you're down, you're up, you're down, you're up, okay? Right here, you could have stayed in this trade right here, but trading the currencies I trade, I would have gotten out because once it crosses here, these are a lot of pips right here. This is probably 30 or 40 pips, 50, 60 pips. Once it crosses the right here, when it crosses right here, the blue crosses here and the red crosses the 50% area, I'm out. Okay, and that, I think that was probably right in this area here, and I waited for the continuation. The continuation would be after the pullback. This is the strongest trade, again, you can take. After the pullback, this is a sure thing. This is the best trade you can take right here. You take this and went flat. See here how the yellow Laguerre stayed on top. It was flat and didn't do anything. You could have stayed in the trade, or you can trade off of the red and blue Laguerres, okay? Once it made the initial pullback, the first pullback is the only one that I will trade. Now, what I trade, the first leg, which is the fourth leg of an M, okay? And it's the first leg of the W. The second leg is your scalp. Your third leg, right here, if you want to trade it, I trade it. I'll trade one candle, but I tell most people not to trade it. You have to be really experienced to take this trade. But the fourth leg is your sure thing. And after the first pullback, I will trade the first pullback and the initial trade. But after that, I normally stay in the trade. So in other words, on the fourth leg, which is your strongest trade, when you have your pullback, I will trade the first pullback. After that, I will stay in the trade. Okay? And if once I exit here, I don't get back in it. I wait for a completely new setup. Okay? So right here, I was out the trade. Okay? And you can see right here, it went down. The yellow line went down, which is telling me the trade was over anyway. And I waited till the new setup where I can start over drawing lines. Here's a down, here's a up, which would be the scalp, the third leg, and the initial trade, the strongest trade you take. On this one, it was not a great pullback, okay? In other words, on this trade here, the first pullback you trade, but there was nothing there to trade, okay? So I didn't trade it. And I'm showing you on a 5-minute chart because on some of these, what I'll do, I'll cheat a little bit. I usually trade 3 to 4 currencies at the same time. On one 15-minute, I'll trade from the 15 to the 5. On another one, I might trade from the 5 to the 1. Okay, and then the next one I'll trade from a 15 to a 5-minute, and the next one I'll trade from 5-minute to a 1-minute. Okay. When the market is slow, I always trade from a 15 to a 5. The market is strong, I will trade sometimes a 5 to 1. That's really fast, but you can rake up a lot of pips on the currencies I trade. And the more trades you put in, the more pips you're going to make. If you're a person who likes to trade a 1 hour, 4 hour time frame, yeah, you initially will get a lot of pips. But if you trade a 15-minute, you're getting out, you're not taking that hit on any of the pullbacks, and you're re-entering the trade, okay? So that's what I prefer to do. I'm a hyper person. I like to move fast. Usually I'll lose my attention. I want to move. I want to go to this one to that one. I can't stay in those long time frames. So this is my preferred choice. I know there's a few people in the class who like trading 1 hour and 4 hours. You can do it. It's the same method. However, you don't catch many trades. And like I say, the more trades you trade, the more times you trade, the more pips you're going to make out of this. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else I can tell you guys. Um, oh, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I usually am in a trade, um, beginning of an open of a new market or the ending of the closing of a market, because I find that it rallies quite a bit, in the beginning and the end. Okay. Um, I rarely trade the New York session. If I do, um, there's something big happening or the market is really moving for whatever reason. Um, I find the best times to trade would be during the Australian, New Zealand time. Asian is my favorite. Okay, and London. Okay, I trade everything. Very rarely do I ever trade the U.S. session. Like I say, I've already made enough pips so where I don't have to. When I started out learning this, I traded only the U.S. and then I started paying attention to, how many pips you're able to make on the other sessions. I said, you know what, I'm trading the wrong thing. I'm going to move
Hey,
elsewhere.
Devorah. Um,
Yes.
okay, Bob had a question here. He said, if you look down the chat, he had mentioned. Let me see here. Devorah, I'm still unclear as to the placement of the vertical and horizontal lines on a 15-minute chart
Okay. Okay.
at the close of the opposite candle specifically.
Okay. Great. Okay.
Let me
Good question.
before you do that, let me make some changes to the chart real quick. Let
Okay.
me get rid of
Okay. No
this.
problem.
Let me get rid of that,
Okay.
and that way it might.
Okay.
Let me open this up a little bit and reset this chart just a little bit here. Hold on, just a moment. Hold on.
Okay.
Get this all set so everybody can see. And I'll move this down a little bit, move this down a little bit. That way you can get more of the chart on there. And then move this over a little bit. And then that way, you were trying to go back. Anytime you want to move back on a chart, you got to make sure that this auto scroll is turned off. So I'll leave it,
Okay.
you from here.
Okay. All right. Here, I'll erase all this here. Hmm.
I got
It's
it.
not letting me erase. Okay.
I got it.
I actually can erase all that except for yeah, leave that line. Okay.
Leave this one.
Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one.
Okay. There's about
Okay.
a, oh, by the way, or there's about a 5 second delay from when you say something to when we hear it. So just
Okay.
when you're moving a lot on the chart, when you're saying go down, then go up, then go down, then go up, we're still on the down when you're talking about going up. So it's like a
Okay.
3 to 5 second delay.
Okay. To answer that question, when you're in a trend, like right here, and the trend is over, how do I know the trend is over? You started to get a turn here on your blue and red Laguerre. Once it crosses through and the yellow Laguerre is going sideways, that's a sign right there. Okay, so I'm looking at this trend going up right here. How I determine when to start this trade is I have a close and an open candle at the same price right here. Okay, same price. So in other words, the green candle closed and the red candle closed at the same price. That's what you're looking for. Okay, once you have that, okay, Dean, I don't know what oh my goodness here. I'm unable to, where do I find my um hmm. Okay, thank you.
What are you
Yeah,
looking
yeah, I
for?
found, there you go. There you go. Here. Okay, I'm on a 15-minute time frame right here. Okay. This was your last leg of your W, okay? How did I determine when to start drawing my vertical and horizontal line? I'm constantly looking down here at the Laguerre, at the TDI. Once I get a break, okay, of that, I know to draw my horizontal line to close of this red candle. So in other words, you want the close and the open candle, opposite color candles, open up at the same price. Now you get this all the time. You got it back here, you got it back here. Okay, however, that's just a pullback. I'm looking for a new trade, okay? Your new trade is once this breaks here and once this is turning sideways and turning down. Once it breaks here, okay, which is right here, okay, you have your close and your open candle, opposite color candles. You're going to draw a vertical and a horizontal line through the close of the opposite color candle, right there. That's what you do. And I can't find what I'm, Dean, I can't find my my vertical, the vertical and horizontal
What are you
line.
looking for?
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Here's the vertical.
I'm going to draw my,
Yeah.
okay, that's the close of the candle right there. Okay. Okay. And I'm drawing a line through the close of the opposite color candle. Okay. And there's my horizontal line right there. Okay. That's your beginning. That's the setup right there. Once this candle closes, okay, I'm looking for a scalp trade. Okay, this is the first leg. This is the second leg right here. Okay, second leg. If it breaks that second leg, you go down to a 5-minute chart. Hmm. Yeah, I am.
Are you clicking on the chart? When you click on the chart, it pops up.
Okay.
Yeah, don't click
Okay.
on the chart. We can see your
Trying to move it
cursor.
back all the
Are you
way
trying
back
to
to
move it? Are you trying to
the end of the chart, toward the end of the chart.
Okay, then what you can do is just let go. You can go up and hit auto scroll, and it
Okay.
pushes it all the way back to the start.
Okay, right there. Okay, once it breaks
Like read
that,
the chart. Okay.
and you have you should have a full setup. Okay, you have the all three of the Laguerres are going down, okay? And your TDI has also crossed, okay? Right here. That's your setup for a scalp trade, okay? The only time like I say, if I do a scalp trade, I'm only going to trade 1.5 to 3 candles. Okay, once I've done that, I'm out of the trade. I go back to a 15-minute right here, and I wait for the setup for the initial trade. Okay, when you have a setup on the initial trade, everything is supposed to be crossed already. Okay, not only do you have the cross on the 5-minute, you should already have a cross on the 15-minute. So again, this is your fourth leg of your W. This is your first leg of your M, okay? You wait for the close and the opening candle that are the same price. Once you do that, you wait for the close of the opposite color candle, which is also the second leg of the M, okay? You draw your horizontal line and a vertical line through it. Once you've done that, go to a 5-minute chart, and you should have everything crossed on the Laguerre and the TDI. You can go back to this chart, or you can stay on the 5-minute chart. Again, when I scalp 1.5 to 3 candles, I am out the trade no matter what. Go back to a 15-minute chart, and I wait for the cross right here to enter this trade. And usually when you get a cross, even though it's through the middle of this candle, it should be on the 5-minute, the beginning of a candle. Okay, that's when you know everything is copacetic, everything is great. Okay, see here on the 5-minute, it's a beginning of a candle. Okay, that's a good sign right there. Once you're in the trade, you go back to your 15-minute time frame, and you monitor your trade from there. How I exit a trade, if one or two things, I will stay in the trade, and if I get a pullback, okay, in other words, if I get a pullback, I'll stay in it on the opposite color candle. But if I get another candle, another green candle, I will exit the trade, and I will trade the pullback on the 5-minute, monitor it on the 15-minute. I will get in usually 1 to 2 candles, 3 candles. I'm out the trade again. I'm waiting for the setup for the next trade. And once I'm in the next trade, I stay in the trade till out of it completely. In other words, once I get the last leg on here, okay, once I get the last leg, which is the third one, okay, right here, and I get the cross here, okay, right here, I will stay in this trade off of 1 candle, or if it's just going sideways for a little bit and then continue on. But if I get more than 1, 2, 3 candles, opposite color candles, I'm out the trade, and I'm trying to trade the pullback off of this. Okay, the pullback would be I'm in the trade, right, and right here, and it did a pullback. I would trade that down 1.5 to 3 candles, and I'm waiting for a re-entry. I'm waiting for a re-entry to get back in this trade right here. Here's your opposite color candle here, and I will draw my trend line right here. Once this candle is over, 1 or 2, 3 candles is over, if it doesn't cross, if they all hitting a certain level and they don't cross, I go off the last candle that was a red candle. I will draw another trend line there, and if I get 2 or 3 opposite color candles and they cross, they wick through and wick back, I know that this trade will continue on. That's one way to know. Another way is you look at your TDI and your Laguerre. Okay, and here was the pullback here. Okay, here was the pullback here, and then it continued down. Okay, well, right here, you can't really see it. This color's off right here. I can't really tell with this color, black and white, anymore. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. So in other words, I would have stayed in this trade because it was just one opposite color candle. Okay, but if I had, you can see right here, this candle and this candle were the same price. Normally you'll get sometimes 2 or 3. Like right in here, you get this up in here. And if I had, I would off this trade here, the trade is going up. off these red candles, okay? If this red candle is never crossing this level here, you get several levels where it never crossed, I know that this trade is going to continue up, okay? Same thing with this. You get several candles here and they never cross this area here, then I know the trade is going to continue down, okay? And I don't know if we had an announcement or what happened, but there's some strong wicking here, okay? Like I say, I'm in this trade here. If I get a lot of wicking here, then I'm looking down here at my indicators. This is strong. These angles are strong. Therefore, I'm going to stay in the trade. Look at your TDI. It's sitting at around a 4 o'clock, 4:30 angle. I'm going to stay in the trade, but I'm watching this. I'm really watching this. Okay. Here, it's starting to turn a little bit. Okay. The yellow is still strong. It's still going down at a strong angle. Your TDI is, your green line is starting to sway a little bit. Your red is still strong. Your sentiment line is flat. So I'm really looking at this, okay? Like I say, as long as that yellow Laguerre line is strong, normally I will stay in the trade, okay? But again, let's go through it again one more time. I'm on my last leg of my W, okay? You get a close and open candle, okay? Once you have that, draw your second leg, okay? When this candle closes, this red opposite from this, it closes, you're going to draw a horizontal and a vertical line through that candle right there. You go down to a 5-minute chart, you should have everything crossed on the Laguerre and the TDI. End of the trade, I trade 1.5 to 3 candles. I go back to my 15-minute. I wait for the cross of the last leg, which is here, okay? Once it crosses there, I should have everything crossed on the 15-minute off of this last leg. What you can do is you can go back to your 5-minute. The reason why I go to a 5-minute, this is key to me. This is when I first started trading, I would enter a trade once it crosses here, okay? Not knowing on this 15-minute candle where to enter the trade. In other words, it would go against me, it would go down, it would go up, it would go down. But if you go to a 5-minute chart, which is not letting me do right now, you go 5-minute chart, you can monitor that a little better. Pardon me? It's showing 15-minute on here. On my chart, it's showing 15-minute.
You're on the 5-minute chart.
Okay.
Oh, okay. The projector's not. Hold on a sec. I'll tell you what. Let go of the mouse for just a moment. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the projector to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the reason why I go from on a 5-minute chart.
There you go, Devorah.
Okay, here's your vertical line, here's your horizontal line, okay? You had to wait 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 minutes where this trade actually takes off. Now say for instance, I draw my line here and I enter somewhere in here, okay? Look at the pullback I got here. There's no way for me to know on the 15-minute. You can even go down to a 1 minute and make your entry, but if even if you had a 3 minute time frame, would be even better. I wait till it's actually crossed on a 5 minute. In other words, I tell you this, this is the number one way that you will know. When you when you're drawing your formations after your second leg, you must have a pullback. This is like 99.9% of the time. You must have a pullback before you enter on that fourth leg. If you don't have a pullback, don't even enter the trade, okay? You're going to have a pullback some kind of way, sometime, form or fashion within this third leg, you are going to have a pullback. If you do not have a pullback, do not enter this trade. I just put it like that, okay? You have to have a pullback on your third leg in order for this trade to be successful. That's how I look at it, okay? If you don't get a pullback, do not enter the trade off the third leg, okay? Okay, so there it is. There's your full formation right there. Okay, here's one right here. I'll do one more. Down, your last leg of the M, your first leg of the W, okay? You have a close right here. The red candle is a close. You have an opposite color candle, green. They both close and open at the same price. Okay, once this green candle closes, draw your horizontal and your vertical line. Okay? Right here. I'm trying to grab it, but I'm having a hard time. Can you do it for me? Okay. 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 Yes. And draw your vertical line through it also.
Here, I can grab it. Let me
Okay?
grab it.
Once you've done that,
So you're saying the vertical line needs to
you
be
would
line
go
right
to a
there?
5-minute chart.
Okay.
On the 15-minute,
Okay.
the only thing it's going to be crossed is the red and the blue lacquer, okay? And you'll have the green TDI crossing the red. That is your scalp trade right there, okay? Right here. There you go. Go to the second green candle over. One more.
Hold on.
One more over.
I'm trying to set. Do you want me to
Go
set on top the candle or
go
to
to
the
your
one candle
right.
over?
To the right. Yeah, right there. We're on that one, okay? Okay, I would take this one. I'm going to take this one right here, okay? Because we had another
this
M
one.
formation on this, okay? So you had it here, okay? Actually, you know what, Dean? Let me move it here. I don't want to confuse no one because sometimes I mix these around, and I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, right here. All right. That's your last leg of your W, your first leg of your last leg of your M, first leg of your W, okay? You had a close and an open candle, same price. Once you get that, you draw your vertical and your horizontal line, the close of that opposite colored candle, okay? Once you do that, and I tell people to draw these until they get comfortable, you know. Where did it go? Okay. I'm lost, Dean. Where did it go? I'm trying to get back to where I was. I was trying to, yeah, I was trying to grab it and draw my second leg. But if you can do it, it's fine.
What do you want? What are you trying to do?
Yeah. Okay. Right
Oh,
there.
on the chart?
Okay.
Okay.
So you have this here. Okay.
Oh, draw the second leg? Okay. Right there?
Okay. Okay. So, okay, right here,
Yeah,
you would have this
somehow or
candle
another you're
right
clicking on the
here.
chart.
Okay.
Somehow or another it's
So
grabbing
you
the
would
chart as you
trade
move
that
it,
candle,
but
then the next candle went down. So the only candle you would be trading is this one right here. Okay. However, you see where Dean drew the second leg. You also can draw the second leg on this one here. Okay. In other words, I'm just following the red and the blue Laguerre. Okay. I can't do it, Dean. I'm having the toughest time here. I want to draw the third leg down from this one right here. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
wait.
Right. To the
Oh,
end of, to the wick of this candle right
let
here.
me.
Okay.
Good, I got it. Let me open. I'm going to open this
Okay,
up a little
right.
bit
And
wider.
can you, right, and can you draw your
Give
fourth
me,
one up?
and then
Okay.
okay, and
Right
then you want
there.
me to put a
Okay.
third leg
Now,
down?
you could take this
I got it.
one, or you could have
Let
taken
me do it. Let me see
this
here.
one.
Got it.
What I do is I just draw, I follow
Right
the,
there.
I'm following my Laguerre, okay? So down, up, right here, and then right here, it pulled down, it's sideways, it stopped going up, down, and then up, okay? You can do that one, or you can trade just the yellow Laguerre. I think a lot of people just prefer to trade the yellow because that's the main trade right there, okay? You could do that. So you would draw down, up, take this one way over here. This would be your main one right here. This is your big one right here. I trade them all. But if you just wanted to trade the main ones, you would just trade the yellow Laguerre and just take your trade off the yellow Laguerre, okay? For a lot of people who don't like to do that many trades, or it's just too fast paced for them. I don't know what. I'm not even touching it. Oh, okay, okay, right there. Okay, you can take that one, and that's the trading off the yellow one only. Okay, you could do that. And probably a beginner, that's what they should do anyway. They shouldn't
Well,
trade
yeah, I'm trying
every
to
M
move it
and
back in
W
this
because
place.
you really have to be really know what you're doing.
Yeah,
So I would right now just tell people just to trade this one. See right here, you had your down, your up, your down, your trade. Once it crosses here, your trade right there. And here is another one. You had your down, your up, your down, your up. That's the one I was trying to tell you. Off of this, if you just want to trade the yellow Laguerre, you just, the main trade, I should say, the main one, would just use your yellow Laguerre, okay? It might be easier for some, I don't know. I use everything. I trade off of the red and blue. I trade off the yellow one also. Okay. So down, up, down, up. Got a down, up, down, up. They're really slight. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. I saw it.
Hey, Devorah.
Right.
Yeah, I just noticed that there's actually divergence in this. I don't know if people can see it based on what you're talking. Let me point it out to folks. I just noticed this. I haven't seen that before. I haven't been looking for it, but notice how you have this bottom here you're talking about, and you have this upward slant here. If y'all take a look, let me move this out of the way. Do you see that you have from that low coming across that low to this low? Do you see the divergence? That's positive divergence right there in the chart. So, I hadn't seen that before. I'm going to start looking for that because I'm having some difficulty seeing what this guy's doing because I'm getting, for me personally, I'm seeing the blue like flicker up and down. You know, like it'll like fishtail down and fishtail up, and that I think is throwing me off a bit until I get more familiar with
I
it.
would focus
So
in
if
on the
I was
yellow
brand
gear
new,
only, and I would
based on your
minimize my
experience,
chart.
Devorah, if you're brand spanking new, what would you tell us
Mm-hmm.
really to focus
Because you
on?
can
The
really see
red, the
then.
yellow,
Okay.
the combination of the blue and the red. What line would you see, I mean,
Okay.
really focus in on? Gotcha. Let me do that right now. Let me do that little minimization here. So I
Right.
can see that this is like to me, you know, you had a bottom, a top, another long bottom here, and now we're starting to work back up out of the W. And then I've got this bottom, a midpoint, a higher bottom, and then a move off of that. I see that. And then you have a top, another top, and then so you got the double top, the M right there. So in effect, let me do this real quick, folks.
Right.
I'm going to do something that
Exactly.
might throw some people off, but let me do this. Hold on a sec.
Exactly.
Hold on a sec. Let me do this real quick. It'll probably throw some.
Yeah.
It might throw
Mm-hmm.
some of you off.
That's the way
But
I
I think
traded
what
when I
Devorah is
first
talking about, to some
um,
degree, is
learned
being
how to
able to
trade
look at
this.
just
I
that.
didn't go by
Is that right?
the
If you're
red and the blue. I
you
just went
ran,
by the yellow. And I minimized my
and then let's put
charts,
this all
and I
together.
would just trade the M's and the W's off the
And
yellow
okay,
line.
I'm
That's
with
it.
you here. You know, that almost
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of a CCI because, like in this case, if I were to run that across like so, and if I was short, then I'd be looking once this guy crossed here. Well, that already made it smooth, though. That already made it
Right.
smooth. Never mind. But I do see the tops here. I see bottom here. And as we go along here, I see a big bottom. Like here's the move down, hits the low, comes to a midpoint, comes back down to a bottom.
Yes,
I
it
see a
does.
big W right
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there. I'm just trying to help folks some things. I see a long top, then a midpoint,
Right.
another top. So I'm ready that if it's going to
That, and I would.
fall, if I
They're
just
getting
did
confused a
that,
little bit. I know.
wow, that lines up
At
pretty
this
darn
point,
close.
maybe
Not
the best
exact, but
thing,
pretty
other
darn
than
close.
George, the best thing for everyone to do
Put
is
that
trade
line
just the
on
yellow.
there. Probably
Trade the
put that line
formation of the
right
M and
about there.
W
That's look at
off
that.
of the
That's almost
yellow
at the
Laguerre.
point.
That's it.
Just about.
You're
Okay.
still going to get
Because
plenty
I
of
think folks are
pips.
getting a little.
That's the main trade anyway. So
Go,
yes, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And see, even here, I just wanted to point this out. Even here, I find if I just get a
do you
shape of
find
an
that the
M or
yellow
a W,
line
that's a
gives you your
trade to
bigger
me. See
trades? Is
right
that what you're
here?
saying?
trade. Okay, so right here, a W, a
Perfect.
trade. See right here? Trade.
Well, does anybody
So
have
in other
another?
words, I would just trade this, but I still would go by the close and the open candle, Dean, right here. The close of that candle right there, okay? Once you, I don't care how lopsided it is. Once it crosses here, it's a trade, okay? You don't have to wait for it to cross here, okay? Like in other words, right here, okay? As long as it crosses the 85 going down
Okay.
and the 15 going up, it's a trade regardless, okay? That's what I would do. See, look, even right here, you have the M, it's crossing 85. To me, that's just trade right there. See there? It's not much of a trade, but it's still a trade, okay? And that way they still would get a bulk of the pips anyway. Now, if they want to just do
Okay.
this like you did here and right here, is this where you had it right here? Okay, so they can trade that, but me myself personally, I'm going to trade the shape of the M and the W. Okay, that's it. When I get that shape completed, crossing the 85 going down or the 15
Yeah, I was just
going
taking
up,
the
that's a
drawing a
trade to
trend line
me.
along
That's a
the higher
trade.
lows.
So right here, you have
But
your M formation. Once it crosses the 85 going down, trade. You got a W here, small w. Once it crosses the 15 going up, trade. Okay? Same thing here. You have your W formation. Once it crosses the 15, well, yeah, the 15, I'm into trade. Here's the M formation. Okay? You had your W, and then you had your M right here. In other words, they run into each other. You don't have to wait till you get way over here to start a new one. You had an M here, and then you had a W here. Okay? So the M, trade. W, trade, right here. And here's one that, if you wanted to go by this little one right here, it's still a trade, not much of a trade. It went down, okay? And then it did all this up in here. It's another W formation. I don't know if you would call that a double bottom or a head and shoulder. I mean, whatever you call it. It still formed a W formation to me. I'm in the trade. So maybe that would be the best thing for people still having problems. Just go by the W and the M off of the yellow Laguerre, and then confirm it by looking at your TDI. See right here? Here's a perfect example where these are lopsided. You have it going down, it went sideways, and it went up, it went down, cross. See where your TDI crosses here, trade, okay? So if you're still confused, if you get an M or a W, look at your Laguerre. If your Laguerre has crossed the yellow, the red and green has crossed the yellow, trade. See right here, a W, okay? Right here, it crossed here, trade. This, I don't know what this was. It crossed here. You got to cross here. When it crossed here, trade. So in other words, if you get on the yellow gear only, if it crosses the 85 going down once it's formed, an M or W, or cross the 0.15 going up once it's formed a W, okay, trade. It forms an M crossing the 85, trade. Just confirm it by looking at your green Laguerre crossing the red and the yellow. Trade, simple. I wish I had this TDI when I first started trading. It would have made a big difference for me. And that might be the best thing for people to do is trade the yellow gear if it's too confusing. No. All right. No problem.
That sounds. Yeah, and then as they get their a sniper doesn't become a sniper overnight. He's got to shoot
Yes,
a gun
absolutely.
first, and then control the
Yeah.
gun, and then get better at his marksmanship, and then progress to the sniper. And you're definitely a sniper, being able to get down in a 5 minute and go like, look, it's right there, and we're like, where? So thank you so much, Devorah. Does anybody have any more questions for Devorah? Dean, native, let's see, notice how the TDI green line also forms M's and W's. Absolutely, Manuel. And I wanted to point that out. Yeah, you're going to get points. You're going to see in the TDI, it's going to get a little pointed. So like right here in this little area, let me zoom in a little bit. Right, whoops. I can zoom in right in this little area that she was kind of this little area right here that she was pointing out. We had and notice that the TDI will often give you an M or W before we see it in price. Make a note of that. You'll oftentimes get an M or W in the TDI a little bit before price does it. Again, this is sentiment, and sentiment often leads price most of the time, not always. So you have this little W right here, and then it presses up, and then it breaks above here. We've broken above the yellow in the TDI before breaking the 15 right there. So you can see, as she was mentioning earlier, Devorah was mentioning earlier, we have, let me see if I can draw these out. There's one, let me see here, there's a little guy like right here, okay? There's that one right there, okay? And you can see that it had a point, another little point, and then up, but it had the W before that. Now, even bigger, if that's too small, even bigger, whoops, let me get this out of the way. Even bigger is this one here. Let me turn this around. Okay, there's a W right there. If you kick out that pin, or what I often do is I consider all of this as a pin down, just however you look at it. But we can see this being flat here, and then in the W here, there's a point, and then this is a higher point, okay? And then the move away, and then obviously I'll put that line right about where it's crossing, and you can see the green crossing the yellow. Let me show you something real quick, and then we'll kind of start wrapping it up here. I go to the Traders Dynamic Index, and I'm going to paint the red just the same as the background color. Check this out. Now, something I want you to notice is, look at the green crossing the yellow of the TDI, okay? Look at the green crossing the yellow TDI and match that up with the yellow of the gear crossing the 85 and the 15. And just take a look. So let me just see this crossover right there, right before the cross to the downside. Let me see here. We got a cross there, not, a little bit of cross happening right there, but
That's
you
perfect.
really want to look at what the market baseline is doing. So it really didn't do much right there. Let's see it again here. There's a couple right there. There's going down right there, and this going down. Not a lot of movement in price, but the price did follow down. Then we get a little bump, and that's a bounce off right there. But look right here. Look right about, let me move it over just a bit. See the crossover? See this happening? Get a little cross here.
I like that one. Yeah.
Okay,
And
exactly.
Dean, again,
Now, in
as
this case, it crossed,
look
but
at
this
your
didn't.
green
So it's not,
Laguerre. I'm sorry,
that's
your
not
green
one to work
TDI,
with.
how
And
it's
look how the
going.
market comes back
As long as it doesn't
across it
cross the
here, back
yellow
up.
anyway, you can stay in the trade. Look how
And let me see,
strong the
let me move
Laguerre
this one over
is,
just a little
okay?
bit. See
You
this?
would stay in
That
this
crosses
trade.
over, and
As
then
long as
shortly thereafter,
this
the
is still
Laguerre
going
crosses over and then
down
it's
and
back
this
up.
doesn't
And the
cross
bounce off of it, try to
the
cross and then
yellow
below it.
TDI,
So
you
that's a
stay in the
technique
trade.
that you can try to use as well. Whoops.
Same here,
It's just,
over here, how it crossed down here, how
so,
this is going up and down, you just stay in the trade. As long as this is going down, once this changes, you get out of the trade, okay? But you can tell how that I guess the green TDI is more or less what the red or blue Laguerre would be, okay? In my eyes. I didn't think of that technique, but that would be great. That would be that would be good for beginners. This would be.
yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you're. Mhm. Actually, this is a technique that I shared with a scalper, a guy that was trading on a 1 and 5 minute chart, and he was looking at the green and the red. And I told him, I said, get rid of the red. As a matter of fact, you can set the red line to none, and so it's
Right.
completely gone away. And I
Right.
told him, I said, just
Exactly.
trade the crossovers of the yellow and the green. Just be aware that when the yellow is flat and not moving, that price is probably flat. But he started doing that, and he's like, Dean, this changed my trading because he would just, if the market baselines were, think about the market baselines moving down. This pushes up, so you don't really want to trade long. That's the green. The X doesn't mark the
No, go
spot.
ahead.
The green's going up and the yellow's going down. X does not mark the spot. Okay, it's not where you, but it comes over, and the green's in the direction of the yellow. And this guy, now just take a look at this. You don't even. I've actually had people do this. I've actually did a training where I moved price completely away. Okay, and I just told folks to look at this. If you just took every cross, what if I can? I got to do. Hold on a sec. That's not what I want to do. And forgive me, I'm kind of taking over here a little bit, but I want to point